Let me know when we're live, Blake.
You're live.
All right. Thank you, sir. Is all your equipment working today?
It appears to be.
Okay.
Proceed.
Outstanding.
Proceed.
Tell you what, you're getting good, Bubba. I'm proud of you.
I'm trying, Bubba.
I'm proud of you.
Doing all I can do.
Well, hey, guys, welcome back to the 3 to 7 podcast. If you've never joined in on the podcast before, I want to go ahead and tell you this is not what I usually sound like. And if you have joined in on the podcast before, you might be wondering, why does Chad sound so strange today? And it's because a cold has descended upon me and has hit me like a daggone sledgehammer right between the eyes. Cornbread has said it's began to feed on my cells. It's trying to pull me down into the depths. But due to my tireless dedication to you, the listener, I am here today to host a podcast for you. And my name is Chad Rite. I'm your main host. I'm glad you're here. We've got Priest Cornbread over to my right.
Yo.
Corn, put your glasses on, man. You look beady-eyed as crap, man. We can't put you on camera looking all beady-eyed like that. Good night. Look, over at you, thought a freaking alien done moved in the seat over there.
Hey, don't eat them like that.
We've got the beautiful Biscuit over here. Nun Biscuit.
N-O-N-E.
We got Nun Biscuit over here. To my left-hand side, sitting behind the table with the tech guy, Bishop Blake. Count the money, boy.
One.
Keep that
two,
money coming,
three.
son. What
That's
I'm talking
thousands
about.
I'm counting.
You got to pay that, son. You got to pay the man with that money. And over here, to the slight left, we have got Pope Chili in the spirit of a rabbit. We have got Pope Chili. We never knew before, but he is a reincarnate of a rabbit.
That's a spirit animal.
And
A white rabbit.
a white rabbit
Descended upon him like a white rabbit.
descended upon the 7 doves like a white rabbit, dropping a turd on your head, son. Hugging that rabbit while it's on your back, your feet kicked up, kissing the rabbit, blowing on the rabbit, hugging the rabbit.
Blowing on the rabbit.
Making sure that rabbit's dusted. Pope Chili.
Blow on that thing, Chili.
Blow on that rabbit, Chili. Tickle that rabbit, son. Chili, Pope Chili, the rabbit tickler. So, y'all may not know what we're talking about, but
But that's okay.
Blow on that rabbit.
we had a
But
real.
that's okay. They may not know what you're talking about, but that's okay.
Tell him, boo. Tell him.
That is okay.
Turn Chili's mic off. Tell him.
That's okay. It's all right that they don't know what you're talking about. It's all right.
We went to Chili's house last night, and there's a bunch
hold
of
on.
pictures.
No, don't rush it. Don't rush it. We had a grand treat yesterday. I mean, a grand old treat. We've been waiting for this treat for about 3 years. It's been about 3 years we've been talking about going over to Jeff and Tracy's and eating ribs, because Jeff's got him one of them green eggs back there, you know, and he knows how to run that son of a gun. He cooks these ribs for about 5 hours. He dry cooks them. They're dry ribs. Baby back, St. Louis style, you name it. Well, we had the opportunity to go over there, and that is Chili's old homestead, right? That's where he was born and raised at. And so we eased up in there, and of course,
Born and bred.
Tracy had all kinds of pictures of Chili in there. And there was a series of pictures up at the top of the stairs. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I've never in my life seen anything that would top it. It was the wildest thing. I didn't know whether it was a joke or it was serious. But it is a sight to behold. And Biscuit has it all on camera. You've got it on camera, don't you, Biscuit?
I do, and I was actually going to put it on Patreon, but Chili told all of us this morning that if we share that video on Patreon of his rabbit series, that there will be hell to pay, and he won't tell us what the retaliation is going to be.
Chili, do you realize how viral that could go, man? Like, nobody even needs to know who you are. But, I mean, that would just go slap viral, dude.
Well, and people are confused. In some of the photos, there's a series. It's 5 photos, and each photo he's doing something different with the rabbit. So one of them, he is blowing on the rabbit. And the one of them, he's laying on a bench, a concrete bench on his stomach, and he's got his hands cradled around his chin, and his feet are up, and the rabbit's just resting on his back. And then... Oh yeah,
it was so epic. I mean, it just made all of our whole day yesterday when Brooks, blasted that out to everybody. So, Chili's had swag for a long time. He's got swag, man, and that just shows he had swag going way back to the beginning.
Oh yeah, that takes swag.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, can't nobody else take pictures with a rabbit like that. Nobody else in this room can take pictures like that with a rabbit.
No.
No, that was big.
So, Chili, why can't we just share it with just our Patreon?
Who is Chili? You'll address me as Pope.
Pope.
Oh, Chili ain't here. You do what you want.
Pope Chili.
Pope Chili.
Shut up, Bishop.
Pope Chili. Why can't...
Go kiss a rabbit.
Pope Chili the rabbit blower. Why can't we post this just to Patreon? Only Patreon can see it.
First of all, in the Vatican West, nuns are typically not allowed to speak.
Well, that is a good point.
Now,
this is a men's group.
You wanted to ask what I would do. Well, what are you going to do?
That was not my question.
No, it was. Silence! It was your question, actually. You said, well, what's hell to pay? What are you going to do?
That was not my last question, just to be clear.
There's a dungeon in the Vatican, okay? And there's little men that live down there. And they'll eat you.
How long are y'all going to let him distract from the question?
And I will literally feed them. You.
You got it right.
I'll feed them. I'll feed them you. You will be fed to them.
Please, Pope Chili.
That's all I'm going to say.
The third. Can we share this video on Patreon?
I have a feeling that at some point that video is going to surface. I mean.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know when. But I have a feeling it's going to surface.
Well, I'm saying right now that it's in our Dropbox. It's not just on my phone. So if it surfaces, it's not necessarily only my fault.
I don't know how to use a Dropbox.
I'm going to tell you when it's going to surface. All kind of stuff comes out of the woodwork when you start your campaign.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's true.
All kind of stuff comes out.
Yep.
When you start your campaign. Look at anybody else.
Yep.
Donald Trump. Look at Donald Trump, all the stuff that's out about him.
Come out getting
and
accused
Chili
of being a rabbit
only
lover.
blows white rabbits, and that's the scandal.
Now, Brooke, you're getting...
You're going to be accused of being a rabbit lover. So, as you guys can see here,
what have you done?
me and Chili, we have got fed up with these stinking politicians. So we've decided to take things into our own hands. I'm announcing today officially my run for president. All right?
And Chili.
And look, we're going to put the hands back in we're going to put the power back into the hands of the people. And let me tell y'all the first thing that I'm going to do when y'all elect me president.
And Chili.
All right? We're going to go around and we gathering up every one of these daggone illegals. Look, I'm going to put the power into your hands, and you're going to get with your buddies in your town, and you're going to build you up a militia. and we are going to go around and we are going to round up every one of these daggone illegals, son.
Babe.
And we're going to take them into the town square and we're going to cane them. And after we're done caning them for breaking the law, then we're going to make them walk back home.
Somebody stop him. He got mad at me the other day for saying...
Take her down.
He got mad
She's
at me.
got a gun. Take her down.
He got mad at me the other day for saying revolution too many times, and listen to him.
Take her down.
Corn, talk some sense into him.
So y'all get ready. I'm going to roll out my policy over the next couple of weeks. I just wanted to go ahead and let y'all know the first thing on my agenda. The slogan is power to the people. All right? Power to the people. Chad and Chili 2024. If you look, y'all know that I'm against voting, but now is finally the time that you need to vote. You need to vote, all right?
Get out and
You
vote.
need to get out and vote. I've been against it all the way up to this point that I'm running. And since I submitted my candidacy, I realized that the system's not rigged. The system's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not rigged. It's for real.
Well, yeah, we had to go through that process to get on the ballot in Georgia, you know?
Yeah.
That was the first step. I mean, that was legit.
Your vote counts. I always thought it was rigged until I joined up.
Yep. By November, we'll be on all 50.
Once I joined up, I realized they've got this thing dialed in. I mean, it's legit. Your vote counts, and I'm asking you to get out and vote. I've put the hard work in to get on the ballot for you guys, and I'm going to try to do a good job for all of y'all over the next 4 years when you elect me. So,
And we took no donations.
oh yeah, that's another thing. I'm not like all these other scum of the earth politicians where I'm at. Look, if you want to donate to this political campaign that we're running here, you can't donate. But what you can do is you can go buy a T-shirt, and we're going to use that money to fund our campaign. So look, I'm not here to sap your dang money like all these other freaking sap suckers. Look, I work on a daggone capitalist platform. If you're going to give me some money, I'm going to give you something in return.
You tell them.
If you want to support this campaign, go buy you a daggone T-shirt, and we're going to use that to fund our campaign. So y'all see, we'll have some debate. We'll be at the debates. We'll be at all that. Y'all don't worry. It's time.
Don't talk about that caning at the debates, Bubba. Leave the caning out.
No, Bubba.
Wait,
I'm going full bore.
If you're gonna do the caning, just wait till you got them rounded up, then decide to cane.
Y'all thought Donald Trump was crazy. Y'all ain't seen nothing. I'm coming down hard on illegals. I'm coming down hard on all criminals. I mean, we are going back to, if you steal once, you get caned. If you steal again, we are cutting your hands off. That's where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm. What are we doing with child molesters?
Oh, wood chipper.
Wood chipper?
They're going in the wood chipper.
Immediately?
Yep.
What about murderers?
Well, I'll roll that out later. I can't go over the whole dang policy. We'll be here the whole time talking about the policy. I mean, good night. So today,
Who's your borders are?
What about women's rights?
Who's our borders are? You know, we don't have the full cabinet picked.
well, we got most of it.
What about nuns' rights?
What about women's rights, Boo Boo?
Look,
Are you going to stand up for women?
I'm not discussing all
diesel
that.
emissions?
I'm not discussing all that right now. I just was.
What are you going to do for the fat people of America?
That's enough. Today's the day I'm announcing my candidacy.
And Chile.
Here in a minute, we're going to talk about the ROP course, and we're going to take some Patreon questions and whatnot. But since I have gathered up quite a large fan base for my singing, for my country music, I have actually established a pretty large fan base. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
Bigger than Blue Sky Ferry or whoever that is.
Yeah.
Chili's grandma is your top fan.
Blue Sky Twinkle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White rabbit liquor.
So
White rabbit liquor.
I didn't realize you guys liked my singing as much as I did, but I heard last night.
Much as I did.
I heard last night that
Look at him trying to.
my
get
fan base is growing, and all of this is thankful to our friend Nigel and the $2 Pistols.
Yep.
They got me into music. All right. They sent me this guitar.
Can we sing the national anthem, Boo Boo?
No, I've got a song for y'all today. Hank, let's talk about your daddy. Tell me how your mama loved that man. Just break out a bottle hoss. I'll tell you about a drifting cowboy band.
And the man.
Well, we won't talk about the habits. Just the music and the man. How's it keep going, Corn?
Hank.
You just gotta tell me, did your daddy really write all them songs?
Did he?
That don't deserve no answer, hoss. Let's light up and just move along. Do you think he wrote them about your mama? Or about the man who done her wrong? Well, back then they called him crazy. Nowadays they call him insane. Now the ones that called him crazy
Oh, you missed it.
still riding on his name.
Skipped a line.
Well, if he was here right now, Bo Cephas, would he think? Well, how did it go?
You missed. They fired him from the Opry.
Oh,
They
dang.
fired him from the Opry.
Well, that's all y'all get today.
You got to start singing songs you know the words.
That's all y'all get today. But
You know that one, Chili?
that's called The Conversation.
That's a good one.
I mean, it's one of the all-time.
Yeah.
It's an all-time. Waylon Jennings and Hank Jr. come together to sing The Conversation together. Thank y'all for the help, by the way. All right. We had a ROP course this past week. And it was quite the team, man. For me personally, it was my personal favorite ROP course team that we've ever gotten to work with. For those of you guys that don't know what the ROP course is, ROP stands for Rite of Passage. And it's something we do here at 307 Project about once a month during the summer with a small group of people. You can apply for it on the website if you want. The dates for the 2025 ROP course missions are on the website. So if you want to apply, go ahead.
Yeah, and we'll be sending out invites soon.
Yep. And so we go out in the mountains here in northwest Georgia and we move through the mountains for 24 hours straight with a small team. You can't stop. You can't sit down. We just move. And it takes a while, but eventually it just kind of sneaks up behind you and just kicks you right in the face, son. I'm talking about it gets rough in them wee hours of the morning. And this was a special team for a lot of reasons, but I think the biggest advantage that this team had particularly was James and Tom in the front. I think that was the biggest advantage to that whole team. So there were two guys on this team named James and Tom. Well, there was one guy named James, one guy named Tom.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
you guys might wonder, well, who are the types of people that sign up for these ROP courses? It's all different types of people. James is a professional bass fisherman. Tom builds race car engines. It's all types of people sign up for this. Well, James and Tom hurt his knee early on the first section, and James had a pre-existing injury to his knee he told me it was from running that trolling motor so much
Dang.
on the front of the boat, putting pressure on that foot so much.
It gets tired.
I mean, this joker fishes.
Yeah.
I mean, go look at him on Instagram. I mean, this joker fishes, son. James Niggermeyer's his name. Tom's last name is Russell. He's on Instagram too. He's got all kinds of stuff on his race cars and stuff on there. But them jokers got to hurting early on, son. And I remember, Blake, when you popped out there at Corpsewood, you looked at me and you said, Chad, when we leave out of here, you said, don't go far because these boys, they ain't going to make it much further because they was hobbling. And when I saw them too, I thought, there ain't no way. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. I thought, there ain't no way. We left Corpsewood. Well, they walked on down to the next spot. And I thought, okay, yeah, they going to bow out here. No. No. They got their water filled up, got their snacks. Team starts forming up. There they are, right there in the front. I'm like, holy crow, these jokers is about to do this thing. And man, it was just really, really inspiring to watch those two guys start hurting freaking 6 hours in and go another, 18 hours just barely being able to walk and just keep showing up. And that, I tell you what, them choosing to suffer the way they suffered inspired the rest of that team, man. It really did. Everybody else, they even said it in the debrief, everybody else in that team was hurting. You can't do the rock course without freaking hurting. I've done it 5 times. And every time I do it, it hurts. Everybody else was hurting, but they weren't hurting as bad as them two boys were. And it was so inspiring to watch them, man. I've never seen a student start hurting that bad that early and make it to the end. We've never seen that happen before. And I'm going to tell you, the two of them also, not only did they inspire the team, but they became like a pair. And so they had each other. They'd look back and forth at each other and they'd say, well, I'm hurting real bad, but man, old James, he's hurting real bad too. And so because they had each other, I think that's a big part of them being able to make it through to the end. If it would have just been one of them, not saying they wouldn't have made it, but it would have been a whole lot harder for them to make it through. But the team just really rallied around the inspiration that those guys were laying down by just continuing to make the decision to step back in line and keep moving forward. And that was my debrief at the end. When I talked to the team, I said, we try to make, when we talk about doing hard things or going through hard situations or, pushing through, enduring, we a lot of times make it more complex than it really is, because when you get down to the very root of it, the very foundation of what keeps you going, it's just making up your mind to keep going. It's just committing to it and saying, I'm going to step back in the line and I'm going to take another step and another step and another step. And it's those guys just made the decision to do what was right, and that was to keep going and to endure. And it got them to the end. And I'll never forget, I was standing there at the very end when we do our little solo portion, and everybody else had walked off, and it was just them two standing right there. And I looked down at them boys, and I said, well, boys, you made it. And they didn't say nothing back to me. They just looked back at me and shook their head. I said, that was one hell of a fight. And it was, man. It was impressive. And I don't want to just highlight them, because everybody in that team ended up contributing to each other in a big way. And it clicked with them, and they became a single organism that was supporting itself and moving forward. And everybody in that team was a part of it. You want to form a team, man? There's almost no way to do it if you don't go through something hard together. There's just almost no way to do it. So, what do you got on the ROP course, CB? You were out there for a long time.
Yeah, it was Tom and James. It was unique to me that they were moving slow, but it wasn't as slow as what the way they were walking looked. There were numerous times, where I could tell they was hurting. Maybe I was in the front, and you'd get a grunt or two, and I'd be like, dude, you're doing better than you think. Look behind you. And they would have put 5 or 6 lengths of a person behind the next person. And you could see it, and I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that. But they both locked at a certain speed, and that's what was interesting to me. That speed that they both figured out that's what they needed to go was the same downhill. And you say, well, okay, they're really hurting going downhill, but this uphill is going to tax their cardio. No, it was the exact same speed uphill too. Like, I don't know how they locked in to that same speed the whole time. To me, all the teams I've even been a part of, when I did the basic course proving grounds or seen on the proving grounds, this being the third ROP course, that was the favorite team for me as well that I got involved with. Me and Chili had a talk about it. They were some hard-headed jokers, dude.
Yeah, they were.
The whole bassel of them was some hard-headed jokers.
Yeah, we couldn't break them.
And then it seemed like around midnight, it just maybe 11 p.m. it just snapped, and it was amazing to watch. But I was sort of like you, like when they stepped off from Manning Mill, I was like, Tom and James is gonna make it.
Yeah,
they're gonna make it.
If you leave that spot,
Yeah,
you're gonna make it.
right.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. Me personally, as being out there to instruct, I did probably 90% of it. I was really surprised at how much I hurt when it was over. Not being on my feet that 18, 19 hours, whatever it was. So it gave me a total different perspective from the previous two that I've helped with, big time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and people may be listening to this thinking, well, Chad, you've ran 100 miles or 200 miles. Like, how is this hard? And you might be also an ultra runner. And look, man, when you run a race, let's just take a 100-miler as an example. When you run a 100-miler, I mean, unless you're going balls to the wall and trying to win, when you come into aid stations, you're probably going to sit down for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go a 24-hour period and you don't sit down that entire time, it's different, man. It's different. Even though you're moving slower, it puts it on you, son.
Yeah. I was really surprised all the different pains that I was having.
Yeah,
pains that I'd never felt before. But I think it's really important too, and I wish I'd have talked to him in my part of the debrief about it. Andres never gave up on that team.
No, he didn't,
and
man.
He put in the work from the word go, and that was powerful to be a part of and watch and help him too.
Yeah, he took a very personal interest in the success of his team for sure. Yeah, and this was Andreas' second time finishing the ROP course. He did it last year, did very well, and he came back this year and did even better, man.
Yeah.
He had a personal mission to get the most out of his team that he could possibly get. And you're exactly right. He never wavered. I don't reckon he ever had a low point. I mean, he never wavered.
It didn't seem so.
No, he never did.
Yeah.
He's a super impressive guy. Yeah. What about you, Chili? What'd you think about the Rop this weekend, man?
It's always hard to say what's your favorite team or whatever. I think recency bias plays into that, but
yeah, I agree. They're all different.
I mean, man, this definitely you could make an argument, man. I mean, it was
just so inspiring, man.
I really like this team. I just liked I liked particularly, it seems like what I'm about to say, it's usually something I think of and I watch happen that the team doesn't get, and you try to help them understand it. But I think this team got it more so than I've ever seen before, and it was essentially that you're never going to be giving your true best. Like, you really can't. Like, nothing you ever go out and do will be your absolute best. And just through things that happened, man, this team was doing a lot of things right, and I think they started to get confused why we were so hard on them. You remember, and there was a disconnect between Andres, who was kind of leading the team, and the rest of them. And basically the disconnect was just, what the crap, man, we're doing all we can do. We're doing everything right. We're encouraging each other. We're doing this. We're doing that. And it was just like all they would hear was, yeah, it was not good enough. Like, it ain't happened yet. Y'all aren't a team yet. And that was from us, Andres, And I think that was confusing for them until, like, Corn referenced at 11 midnight. I don't know what all was said, a combination of what was said from hopefully all of us, but I think they realized that, yeah, we are doing a lot of things right, but we're not operating as good as we can. Like, look how much we're leaving on the table. Look how much we're not saying in this situation. Look how much we're not encouraging this person. Look how when's the last time Dan's heard anything? When's the last, James and Tom were hearing a lot. When's the last time someone told Andres good job? When's the last, it was just little stuff like that. And when's the last time you asked Kelsey what she needed? Like, it was just little stuff like that we kept harping on, and just the whole deal. And it was like you saw a switch in them understanding what we meant, what was actually being left on the table, that just being good, doing a lot of things right wasn't good enough if you want to be the best. And, like, you saw them get it. And once they got that, the whole thing changed. I mean, everybody started acting different. And it's not like a lot changed because, like you said, they were doing a lot right. But it just was an amazing picture of tweaking little small things, realizing you're not giving everything you can. You can't just settle because, well, we're doing good. Look, we're still here. We're making it. But I mean, I say this a lot, but if you're content with just being okay and you don't really care about being the best, well, then that's fine then. That's really not who I'm talking to. But if you are wanting to be the best, you have to be that self-critical, honestly, that you have to evaluate yourself ruthlessly. And I felt like that team did it, and that's partly why I love this team so much, because they looked at themselves that way. That's the standard Andres held them to. That's what they all held themselves to, but especially by the end of it. And it was just cool to watch happen. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
yeah,
that's why I valued this team so much and the work they put through. And not just Tom and James. Not to downplay what they did, but sometimes it does downplay what the rest of the team does when you've got two people like that were out front and struggling so much. It's like the rest of the team did exactly what they did.
Well, the rest of the team allowed them to stay in the fight.
Yeah, man. They all did the same thing.
The rest of the team, they were carrying the weight of Tom and James so that they could stay in the fight but it was mutual because they were being inspired by Tom and James.
Yep.
So they were carrying the weight, but they weren't mad about carrying the weight because the reason they wanted to carry the weight is because they were being inspired by their actions.
Yeah.
So it's just everything plays together, and yeah, you wonder why that happens with some teams and why it doesn't happen in others. Well, the one thing that we can't make you do when we train with you is we can't make you want it. Either you want it or you don't, right? And this team had the majority of people on the team that wanted it. And that's why it happened. And that's something that we can't put into you. But if you want it, we can help you get there. And they wanted it, man. And that time frame when everything started to click, another thing that happens right around there, kind of that midnight everybody starts to hurt bad enough that they start to realize, ooh, I'm going to need people. I'm going to need these people around me.
Yeah.
It takes that long for everybody to start hurting. That pain, that real pain starts creeping up on them.
Yeah.
They say, ooh, I'm going to need these people around me, right? And so that's why it always happens late. What happened like that ain't going to ever happen early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you mentioned it, Corn. The work that Matt and Andres did as squad leaders from the get-go was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's rare, man. There's just a lot of stuff that you don't really see as early as we saw it on this team. That carried it all the way through.
Yeah, Matt stayed solid the whole way. I can still picture in my mind the exact spot that they come together as a team. I just told Chili not long before that, I don't understand why this place is called this. But 30 minutes later, myself personally, I was like, oh, I understand. This place is friggin' unique in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's that? The
wormhole. Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That finally clicked with you?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember when you told me, I don't know why this is called this. I was
Yeah.
like, well, you ain't all the way through it, Bubba.
Yeah. Yeah, then it clicked with me. I was like, bump on the worm. Y'all don't want none of the wormhole. Quit playing. You don't want none of the wormhole.
That's a wild stretch of trail, man.
Yeah.
It really is. The course is perfect. Blake, what do you got, brother, on the rock course?
Well, I think y'all probably said it all, but I think it was just I can bear with someone a long time if they're just willing to just try, even if they're not really getting it. But if they're just willing to try and do better in anything, and I think they represented that well out there, that they were just willing to try and keep going. They're like, well, I don't know if I'll make it to the next stop or not, but I'm just going to try. And then they just try, and then, you end up finishing. And, it's hard to get aggravated or ill with someone who is actually trying, not just putting on a show or something, but actually trying to do what they want to do and be better. And so I think they represented that well.
Biscuit, how about you? Why haven't you done the rock course yet?
Well, I take photos for the rock course. So I was actually going to do this one because Kelsey was doing it, but then I realized that I had my dates wrong. So, honestly, it's intimidating to me. First of all, too, I'm competing in tactical games next month, so I would rather not get IT band issues or anything until I complete that, and then I'll be good for something. But the real answer is I don't want to stand on my feet for 24 hours and stay up all night. That's the real answer. But I also do love providing photos for the students. I've never missed a rock course. So, and yeah. But that team, I got scolded by you a little bit one time because I was having too much fun. Because that team was just...
Well, yeah, you wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Everybody that was around wanted to be a part of it,
Yeah, I was cutting up, and which I always do that. That's what I told you the other night when we were going to bed. I said, I don't know why you're reprimanding me. You know who I am. But it was
hey, I scolded everybody all at once.
Yeah, but as soon as we walked away, from getting scolded, Blake looked at me, he said, that was your fault. And then Corn walked away, he goes, that was about you. And then they both walked off, and I was like, okay, fine, that's true. That's true.
Well,
but
it was a little bit about me too, but he looked at Blake the whole time.
Yeah, I think
that's
me and
because
you.
I like how Blake responds.
He
Blake
just
sits
shakes
over and he does this.
But no.
He's in complete agreement.
You know what I noticed?
Tighten up, son.
I noticed about that team is there was no weird boundaries or cliques, and there wasn't anybody that I noticed that was in a shell. like everybody, like a couple teams, there's usually a couple people that take a while to open up, or there's like groups of 2 or 3 that might know each other beforehand and they kind of stay in their little group. Or this team was just wide open. And like you said, they were funny, they were fun, they were positive. The women were great. The women have always been great, every course I've witnessed. But yeah, it was just I definitely did want to be a part of it. Like, I wanted to just hang out with all of those people because they were great.
For sure. Well, like I said, if you guys want to see what this is all about, come out and train with us next year. It's full this year, but if you want to come out and train next year, put your application in, and you can come and see what this is all about. I promise you, you will get something out of it. I can guarantee you'll get something out of it, no matter who you are or what background you come from. I mean, like I said, people from all over the country and all different walks of life come out here to do this, and they come together, and it's inspiring. If you're starting to lose hope in your fellow man and in humanity, you come out and be a part of one of these teams, man, and you get a look at people from all over the country who are like-minded and choosing to use their spare time and resources to improve themselves and get better physically and mentally and spiritually, and it's gonna reinvigorate you. And I'm very confident in saying that. I'm not biased just because this is something that we do here at 307 Project. It's because I've seen it happen over and over and over and over and over again. So this was team 8. So in 8 times, I've never ran one of these courses and been dissatisfied with the outcome for you guys, the customer. But yeah, it was good, man. I needed that for sure. I've been feeling right poopy here lately with all the crap I've had going on. And it's just life, man. It's been a heck of a year for me and my wife both in terms of our health, and I've got a big challenge coming up next week, a big challenge, and this is the first time in my life that I've ever been potentially going to toe the line at a big, really difficult race where I'm not healthy, and it's a strange feeling, man. Every time I've ever had to toe the line at a race, I've basically said, "Okay, I'm going to finish this thing." And the only thing that hinges upon me finishing and not finishing is just my own mind. It's not my body. My body can endure it, right? But it's really strange going into something, and it's a growing, definitely a painful growth, having to experience what I think other people have experienced and experience on a frequent basis, of putting something big on their calendar that scares them, and potentially showing up with some sort of pre-existing health condition or something that makes the outcome of that event a little more fragile or a little more complex. Like, everything has to line up physically and mentally and all that for me to finish this thing. So it's definitely forcing me to grow. And I'm telling you this because in light of talking about the ROP course, a lot of you guys hesitate to do something like this, or like the ROP course, or maybe go and do a race or a challenge or something. You've been waiting for years and years because you've been waiting for everything to be just perfect for you. And what I'm trying to say is, don't go and do something that's gonna hurt you, but also don't wait for everything to be absolutely perfect to go and do something that you want to do something that's going to challenge you, something that's going to make you grow, you got to go for it at some point. And so don't hesitate to do that. If these things scare you, or you think, man, maybe I'm not absolutely ready, because I can relate to you. I do not feel ready at all for what I'm about to go do next week. I haven't been able to train the way I want to train. I've dealt with all these daggone health problems. Woke up Monday morning now sick as a freaking dog. And it's going to come down to the day that we leave. You know, if I feel like I'm good enough to start, I'm going to go start and see if my body holds together and see what happens, man. So that's my word to y'all today. All right, we're going to take a little break. I'm going to hit the head. You guys can chit-chat if you want.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we will.
Thank you, Rabbit Liquor.
Well, y'all know that's a joke, what he's talking about there. Rabbit licking and all. Now, Brooke, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask why you made those accusations about me on the show.
What accusations are you talking about?
About the rabbit. I mean, this has got to be awfully confusing for the listeners.
Can you specifically tell me what accusations I made?
That
tempting you to post that.
No.
Chili, you have my word. I'm not posting it.
I know you won't, Bubba. You just going to sit over there and eat almonds.
You have my word.
I know you won't, Bubba.
What accusations did I make?
About what you said about me and the rabbit.
What did I say? About something about you blowing white rabbits?
Well, yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, that.
I don't remember exactly what I said. You'll have to remind me.
Well, I'm mad on account of what you said, all right? So I'd like to let you know that.
I just genuinely think it's selfish of you, because Chad has been letting me take insider videos of his life. And like, I have one of him in the shower that's going on Patreon next week. Like, that's the dedication that he's giving to our people.
He looks surprised by that.
And he just forgot. He's a little sick. And you have a childhood photo that is very cute. It's very cute. And you won't let me put it on Patreon.
Do you think it was cute, Corn?
I do.
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah,
cute.
it was cute.
People just want to see what you looked like as a baby, Chili. It's not that big of a deal. And I really think you're being a drama queen and you're being selfish. So these people pay lots of money to be part of our Patreon every month.
Not
and the
enough.
least you could do is let them see the photos of you with the rabbit.
Well, like we said, that video is going to surface at some point. You know, that's just a fact. All right.
He said it, Chili, not me.
I'm about to ask Chili about the economy here in just a minute.
Oh, boy.
Because, you know, everything that I keep hearing, the global stock market is collapsing. Dum, dum, dum. Sure, I'm glad I didn't listen to that banker and put my money in the stocks.
Good thing we started collecting mushrooms, too. How great of a time
Oh,
to do
yeah,
that.
that's a lot of fun.
Mushroom hunting.
If you guys don't, I saw that picture you had printed too, Boo Boo,
Oh, yeah.
and put on the wall. That
But-
was pretty.
Corn's over there shaking his nuts trying to get everybody's attention. Calm down, Corn.
This episode is brought to you by our partner at Drink HOIST. All right, HOIST is more than just a beverage. It's battlefield proven IV level hydration that's trusted by the U.S. military to keep them hydrated longer than water. HOIST absorbs instantly and replenishes your body immediately to keep you powering through the next objective, mission, rep, or lap. I would agree with that. HOIST is clinically proven to hydrate 110% better than water. You can get it at drinkhoist.com. Why do I agree with their statement and how they say their product works? Well, because we have used this and pushed our bodies to the max while using HOIST. Not only did I use this for about 4 straight days when I ran 250 miles out of the Cocodona 250, but we also used this on the ROP course. We use HOIST, all right? All the students use it. So we've gotten to test it over a broad spectrum of different people and different bodies and different flavors and, all of that good stuff. And it really, really works. It does exactly what they say it does. So we believe in it. They're amazing people. They've been great partners here at 307 Project for years now, and they've allowed us to do the things that we want to do and the challenges that we choose to go out and take on. And they've helped us along the way stay hydrated, which is probably the most important part when we're out in the field pushing our bodies, is your hydration. If you don't eat, it's gonna eventually, you're gonna bonk, and you're not gonna feel good. But if you don't stay hydrated, you're gonna wind up in the hospital. So that's why it's so important. So check them out at drinkhoist.com. You can purchase it there. You can set up a subscription where they send you a couple cases, every however often you want it. And they also have powder so that you can pour into your water bottle and use it that way. So a couple different forms and options for you guys. They're amazing. This stuff is made in America. And again, great people and the best hydration supplement that I know of out on the market today. drinkhoist.com. Thank you, guys. So yeah, Chili, I don't know nothing about the global stock market, but I keep
Well,
seeing,
that's why I'm your VP.
Yeah, I keep seeing people post about it on social media. What is going on, man?
Well,
Have you seen it?
seen what?
All the stuff that's going on. I mean,
I don't know.
okay. Well, what's going on?
We're just talking about a recession coming?
Yeah.
Wait, if you haven't seen it, you don't know, right?
Well, no, he doesn't have to see it to know.
What would I need to
He
see to
predicted
know about?
this.
Yeah, I mean, look, the money system, man, nobody understands one iota of it. Not one bit. I mean, if you think you understand it, you probably know less than the person who thinks they don't understand it. Now, of course, I don't know nothing either. But I'm going to just look at it from a broad spectrum. The stock market was created. Do you know when it was created?
1943.
1611
1611?
in
Wow.
Amsterdam.
I was way off.
In Amsterdam. That was your first stock exchange. Well, in about 1792, 1790s, almost 1800s, the New York Stock Exchange was created. That was not long after the United States of America was formed. And we had our own little New York Stock Exchange where I think there was some other stuff, but primarily like banks, but it was primarily government, like war bonds and things like that being exchanged and sold, okay? So it started that way. It started as a United States government creation here that was banks involved. It was used to make, whenever we say the proverbial they, richer. That's what it did. I mean, you know who runs the banks? You know who runs the banks, Brooke?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, George Soros.
Well,
We're caning him too.
Okay.
Y'all elect me, we're finding him.
About Warren Buffett.
No, I like him.
Berkshire Hathaway.
Y'all stop. Stop it. We
No,
ain't
I'm being-
caning nobody right now. Get back to your story.
Yeah, I'm gonna cane them.
No.
I'll cane whoever the crap I want to.
Y'all ain't caning nobody.
I'll freaking cane Michelle Obama if I feel like it.
Well, that's it. Podcast is over.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the New York Stock Exchange. That's how long it's been a thing. It changed a lot, and then obviously everyone knows 1929 the stock market crashed. Well, what does that mean? Well, it don't really mean nothing.
I agree.
But
I agree.
But to make
You
a
mean
long
they changed numbers on the screen?
yeah, to make a long story short, if you were to go to the bank, right, and get your money out, they didn't have it. And that's what was a big problem in the 30s, right? The Great Depression. So now there's a
They
prediction.
don't have it now.
Well,
Try to go get your money out of the bank. They don't have it.
well, here's all I'll say about the money system now. And I won't. We could spend hours talking about the Federal Reserve, but the Federal Reserve was created in America. Okay, if you believe, I've said this so many times on the podcast, it's really not worth saying, but you have to come to an understanding. To understand anything about the economy, you have to understand taxes. Your taxes are not funding anything. As long as you believe that your taxes fund the roads being built in America, well, sometimes my taxes are going to abortion clinics. That's why I don't want Kamala Harris in there, because she'll fund abortion clinics with my tax dollars. No, they won't. Your tax dollars are purely so you are controlled. They take your tax money and they burn it, man. They don't do anything with it. You have to understand that. Any money that you send to Ukraine and they send to the Taliban and wherever they send it that you don't like, they printed that money. You did not give them to it. You did not give it to them with your tax dollars. They printed that money.
Well, they didn't even have to print it. They just made a number on a screen.
Well, the Federal Reserve prints money all day long. They can't print it fast enough. That's literally what they're doing. And they print the money that they need to send, and then that way you have the money, and then they'll send, like you said, a number on the screen to Ukraine and say, all right, you've got this. That's what they do, man. Your tax dollars don't go to anything. So if you think you're funding anything, rest easy, man. You ain't funded a single abortion with your tax dollars because they don't use it. They literally don't, man. That's what the Federal Reserve does, and that's how the banks work, and the banks will continue to operate that way off of printed money. So, yes, it's all jacked up, but it's also the same way we've been running things for a long time. Long time. Will there be a recession come? Sure, because you can manufacture a recession at any time. It's not like there actually has to be. It ain't like your recession's going to come once the balance sheet gets screwed up. No, man. That's not what triggers it. People don't understand what triggers an actual recession or a stock market crash. But there's not much to worry about. When that happens, yes, things will affect you. Your ability to get money out of the bank, your ability to pay for this, what the cost of things, how you access this resource and that resource. Yeah, it's all going to be affected, but don't think it's because of anything just actually getting out of shape slowly over time. And, we made it through the 2008 recession with the housing market, and now the interest rates are, dude, it's all it's manipulated by the Federal Reserve. Rates are constantly manipulated.
Yeah, well, that's my perspective on it. When you talk about a recession,
you're in a recession now.
It's
look at the price of groceries at Walmart. You're in a recession.
But like a true recession where you see like businesses failing and like
they're failing, but they're being propped up. They're failing.
Yeah, but that can also the thing I'm trying to get at is you talk about manipulation. Do you understand that the media is simply a propaganda machine for the government? That's all the media is. It's the propaganda machine. So if the propaganda machine tells you that the economy is collapsing, and then every one of you guys, you decide to just pull back and not go out to your local store and buy something you want, or not take that trip that you want, or because the propaganda machine told you that the economy's collapsing, and so then everybody stops spending. And so then it legitimately collapses the economy in your local area because all of you daggone dummies took the bait of the daggone propaganda machine, which is the media, and you stopped going out and supporting your local businesses and taking trips and doing things that you wanted to do. And so you're exactly right. They can create a recession or the economy collapse at any time they want because people are so stupid that they're just going to listen to whatever they're told, and then they're going to react to that in an extreme way, and then that's what produces the actual result that you're seeing.
Chad, the stock market is owned. 90% of it is owned by the same people. So if they all decided to sell a large portion of everything, it would crash. Everything would go immediately down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally owned. Like, yes, you've got your little piece. I know you listening have a 401k and you've got this and that and you own part of it. Yeah, but you and all the other people like you own less than a freaking percent of it.
Far less, I imagine.
I mean, it's entirely owned by a few individuals and a few organizations.
Yeah. So
if you don't think it can be manipulated, like, think about what you own personally. Can you manipulate that thing? Yeah, of course you can. You own it. That's how the stock market is owned the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you own a business, you can manipulate the business. You can fire employees. You can hire employees. You decide where the money goes. You decide what's bought, what's sold. You can move these pieces around. That's how the stock market is operated by a few individuals. So, yeah, you don't even need the media to do it.
Yeah.
But, yes, what you're saying would happen as well with it is manipulated that way. Like, but even that wouldn't cause a recession, because then they could just use the money that they print to bail the businesses that were failing out. Even if people did stop buying everything.
Yeah.
So they're failing now, man. Nobody's working. You go to restaurants nowadays in these big cities, I can't even get anybody to work.
Yeah. Like,
they're failing now.
What do you think? You got anything on this, CB?
Well, I mean, I think I'm with both of y'all. Like, I think it's constructed to make society believe something is actually happening. But I mean, there is a reality that there are people that are getting ate slap up by inflation.
Yeah.
Like at the grocery store or whatever. I mean, whatever it may be. I think the workforce has been so messed up when COVID happened that they sent out whatever checks that they were going to send out, and people all of a sudden stopped working, or some people couldn't work their jobs because their jobs shut down, and they went to do an Instacart or DoorDash, and they started making better money or enough money to live on, and they decided, hey, I'm just going to do this. You know what I mean? Or the economy was still, the housing market was still doing its gig, and a lot of, and I don't want to put you on a rant about illegals, they was keeping on working, and they have no tax base coming in to anything, any employment taxes to the state, the federal government. Those people are still working. When we say there are people that aren't working, you go to Paulding County where I live. There is a subdivision every quarter of a mile being put in by these rental house places. I mean, every quarter of a mile. And there is tons of people in there working. And people are just foaming at the mouth to rent these houses that are way jacked up in rental prices. I don't know how in the world they're affording them. I honestly don't.
I don't either.
They're renting for like $2,600 a month.
Yeah.
And you have to make 3 times that amount per month to qualify to rent the house. Like, where are those people working?
They're probably influencers, Corn.
Maybe so. But I think there are a lot of realities that people, and I don't want to say it's suffering, like you make your own way. You afford what you can afford by the work you put in, 100%. But reality is inflation is ganked up, and I think they use, well, sooner or later it's got to reset as an excuse to cause the recession too. Sooner or later there's got to be a reset. Mm-hmm. But it is strategic. Look how gas is coming down.
Yeah.
So Big Mama Kamala can say, gas ain't that high. What y'all been talking about? Because everybody forgot that 4 months ago it was over $4 a gallon here in Georgia. It's probably $6 in California right now. But everybody's, come November, when it's $2.89, $2.79, everybody's going to forget that it was $4 a gallon. 6 months ago. Everybody's going to forget when Big Daddy Putin invaded Ukraine that it was nearly $6 a gallon. They're going to forget all that because it's $2.50 in November. Yeah. If it could be $2.50 in November, by golly, it could be $2.50 all the time. And I know that it can. Like, I know that it can. Come on.
It
now.
can, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's all
Gas
just a
is
tool, man.
awesome.
It is all just a tool.
Yeah. And you're talking about fuel prices too. I don't think people maybe people don't consider how important fuel prices are.
There is no reason for a gallon of diesel to cost more than a gallon of gasoline.
And it has for years.
And there's no reason.
Yeah.
That is constructed in a specific way by Big Daddy Obama to cause the control of the economy. I'm telling you, 100%. When he come up with all these diesel emissions, that really ganked it up big time. Big time. Even on off-road diesel. Off-road diesel shouldn't cost nowhere near what anything cost. Nothing. You're supposed to not be paying taxes on it at all. There's some type of tax being put on that when it's only 50 cents cheaper than a gallon of on-road diesel.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuel prices are obviously kind of a foundational thing, because then that's affecting the cost of everything else that you consume, and affecting the cost of what it costs to produce the food you're eating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a real foundational thing. I guess that's why you always paying attention to that, huh, Corn?
I am. Probably a little too much, but it irks my hide. Right yonder by the house, there's a marathon, and I can sort of watch the gas prices around, and tell if he's bringing his up and down like they should be. And one morning, I'd know it'd been like 3 months, and he hadn't brought his down, and I'd done seen him get 2 trucks, and all the stores around him had come in, and I'd had enough of it. I'd done had a bait. So I pulled in there and got me a cup of coffee, and I said, hey, when you going to drop your gas prices? Like, I've seen you get 2 trucks, and you ain't dropped them a bit. He's like, oh, no, they're right. I'm like, no, Bubba, they ain't right. Like, I'm going to call the state today and tell them you skyrocketing your gas prices. When I come home that evening, it was 40 cents cheaper.
Dang. Can you do that, Corn? Like if you
tell
think
anybody anything I want to.
Oh no,
he's going to freaking cane that dude if he brings those gas prices back up.
I'm saying if you think somebody's doing that, like wrongfully inflating gas prices at their gas station, is there something is there somewhere you can call?
Yeah, I think the Department of Agriculture runs the gas station parts, because they send people out for each state to measure if the gas is pumping actually a gallon per whatever the price, if it's accurate. I think it's the Department of Agriculture that handles the gas prices and the taxes that's on gas and stuff like that. If they don't, the Secretary of State's office could sure enough tell you.
So if there's a gas station out in the middle of nowhere and they're the only one around, they're not allowed. There's like a limit. They're governed to how much they can jack their gas up.
And I don't know what that equation is, but they are limited on what they can do. There was a there in Dallas, some hurricane come through and was like supposedly going to affect the refineries in Louisiana. And like that dude immediately jacked his gas up like $3 more a gallon. And somebody called the state and allowed to them, and they shut that joker down for like 6 months.
Dang.
Yeah.
So they take that seriously.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Rabbit trail. Sorry.
So you talk about how everything is priced so high. And then like you mentioned earlier, like eventually something has to happen to kind of reset that inflation. So what does that look like? Does it look like everybody getting to the point that they cannot afford to pay for the things that are out there, and so then the prices simply have to come down in order for people to purchase the products?
No more than what I know about economics. That's what I assume it looks like, that people cannot purchase houses. They can't buy as many groceries, that they can't buy as many brand new sets of tires, that all those things just come down because there's not a high demand for them anymore.
So, I mean, I could think right off the bat how you could lower the price of so many things. And you hit one was lowering the cost of fuel.
Yeah.
And the second one is removing this freaking tax burden from all the companies that actually produce products and services. I mean, that you could every company out there could, if the government removed the tax burden from a company could decrease the price of their products immediately by 40%. 40%. You could sell your product for 40% less.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane, dude.
It is. But there's a lot in government that want to tax those people that run businesses even more. They want to tax them even more.
Yep.
COVID happened. One of the reasons is because Big Daddy Trump slammed China with an economic deal that they just did not like.
Mm-hmm.
That's my personal opinion. That's one of the reasons among 100 other reasons. But the American economy was about to win with that deal. We was really about to win with that deal. Our farming was about to bust off, son. China didn't like that. Though I do believe that America had a lot to do with COVID too, but nonetheless.
Does that have anything to do, Corn, with China buying up all that farmland? And do you know anything about that?
I've heard about it. I don't really know. I think it has a lot to do with they want to do some research on what our soil and things are like for a lot of other things as well. And they want to be able to refine seeds and different things to affect probably genetics and a lot of other things. China's got some funky stuff going on. Places like, I think, Oklahoma or maybe it was Arkansas have banned China from buying any more land in their state.
Good. Have y'all ever heard conspiracy theory people say that China is buying up land and doing all these things because they're going to try to eradicate Americans to take over the landmass because they're running out of space in their own country?
I have heard that.
Have you heard that?
Yeah, I have heard that.
There have met several people that believe that.
I know why they're buying up that land. They gonna grow a bunch of little Chinamen in it. They figured out how to grow.
Cabbage Patch Kids?
Yes. They have figured out how to grow Chinamen.
Do you remember in Harry Potter those things they pull out of the ground and they scream a bunch? You know what I'm talking about, when they whip those things out and they scream and you can't hear their screams?
We need on our political.
I don't know.
No.
On our website, we need to have a stance on growing Chinamen in the U.S.
Like
They
Pikmin. Y'all know the game Pikmin?
Uh-uh.
We used to play it as a kid. You grow these people and you pick them out of the ground. Pikmin.
Yeah, they figured out how to do that in China.
Yep.
That's how they got so many people. They just need room to grow them.
It takes a pretty good amount of land to grow with one Chinaman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're hard on soil.
2.5 acres per Chinaman.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh.
Corn, do you think, to what degree do you think the U.S. is actually an adversary with China?
Well, I don't really.
That's broad, which I
Yeah.
hate, but
Yeah.
what do you think we really, how much of foreign relations, just geopolitics, is the U.S. actually, quote unquote, I know we're not at war, but at war with China versus in league with China?
Oh, I think very little.
It's little, isn't it?
They've even been bragging here of late how our military is constantly talking with Chinese military now, just left and right, like they're on the phone with them all day long, talking back and forth, about our intentions in Asia and in the sea, and their intentions just constantly back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're as big enemies as what's portrayed.
Yeah, I don't either. I will say, talking about China buying farmland in the U.S., that pales in comparison to the land that they're taking over in Africa.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Pretty much under the radar.
yeah. And they're just going in there and
They
ganking
need them
it.
minerals, man, to grow them Chinas.
Yeah, they're just
Chinese.
going in there and ganking it from those people.
Yeah, I mean, they are taking swaths of land, basically entire regions from Africa and just straight up just I mean doing it, just mining cobalt, all kinds of things. And
are they purchasing the land from someone? Like from the corrupt African government,
I don't
I'm guessing?
believe they are in Africa. Not really.
I think they make like some type of shady deals with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they offer them like military protection and all kinds of things.
I don't believe
like
they're
that.
straight out buying the land. That was even if they say they are, I don't I don't think they are.
I wanted to ask when Chad got back in here, but I want to hear what y'all think. Do y'all think we would win if we went to war with China?
It's when I think about that, and I have no experience at all in war, but what I think about is the previous 2 world wars is where is it an invading force or is it a squabble over something that is going on?
Yep. Yeah, what does winning mean?
Exactly.
Boo, would we win a war with China?
Well, I think like Corn was going down the road with it. Depends on if it was a real fight or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is winning? Like, would we win against the freaking terrorists in Afghanistan? No, because we didn't. The point of that was going back to oil. Like, would we win if we invaded Afghanistan? Could we take over that country? Yes, very easily. We weren't trying to do that. Like, everyone acts like we lost the war in Afghanistan. No, we didn't. We didn't fight a war in Afghanistan. We occupied the country to manage resources for 20 years. That's all we did. I mean, that's like, would we win a war against China? I mean, that's just totally.
I mean, if it was a real fight, I mean, all you're talking about then is who's able to get the most nukes on the ground
right.
first.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
it's just
that's all it is.
And I think that, which you never know how crazy somebody could get, but to me, thinking that would be the only reason to use a nuke if they was trying to invade our country and take over territory, or if we was trying to invade them and take over territory.
How long till they take Taiwan?
I don't know. With the way the world's popping off, I figured they would have already done it, and with our eyes in other places, already. But I think once we give them the thumbs up that we're good on our semiconductor plants.
Right. I mean, they've already taken Taiwan.
Yeah, Taiwan's China's anyway.
But when it becomes official, will be after that. You're exactly right.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's I'm sorry, Blake.
No, go ahead.
I think that's one reason that that our government has begun to brag about our military connections with them and how we're constantly talking to them on a regular basis now. Have you heard that?
No.
They'll talk about that all the time. We're on the phone with Chinese military today, and they're doing this and we're doing this, so we're all aware of what's going on. I think that's going to be the excuse. Well, we talk to them, and what they're doing is needed and necessary over there, so we're good to go.
Well, how long till somebody takes the North Sentinel Island?
I can't believe that ain't already happened.
What is that?
There's an island where these
North Sentinelese live.
some tribal people live that if you go over there, they just kill you.
They ain't about a couple hundred of them.
It's over there in India, ain't it?
Well, I'm going to tell you what. When I'm president, we're putting together a team, and we're going to put together a maritime assault force.
We're going to
Go cane them.
We're going to go up on that island, and we are going to kill every last one of them people for the murders and atrocities they've committed. We're going to drop judgment on them.
Oh my God!
And then we're
going to sneeze on a rag and give it to them.
And then we're going to claim that island as U.S. soil. All right.
There you go.
It's another bit of my policy. I just Googled. It takes 50 pounds of sulfur a week to grow a Chinaman.
50 pounds of sulfur?
Yeah.
God.
You have to put, and the growth period is 9 months. You have to put 50 pounds of sulfur a week
9 months?
Okay.
on that.
I just figured something out.
What?
You know all these illegals that's coming up? Well, you know what the Chinese feed off of?
What?
They're crap.
I just drew the line.
Oh my God.
That's what that's the fertilizer for the soil.
Huh.
And
Is
you
it-
know all of these porta potty companies, you know who they're owned by? The Chinese. And where do you see all of these porta potties at?
Construction sites.
Dang, I never even thought about that. Now that's deep right there.
That's big, Blake. You hit it right.
Y'all
Sean.
got to start looking outside at different things and just saying, "Oh, that's just a porta potty." Well, who owns it?
Quit looking past the obvious. Yeah, you're right.
How much land does it take? Did you Google that?
You were right, 2.5 acres.
2.5 acres. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that takes a lot of land for sure. Well,
What are you doing over there, Corn?
Got a first form meat stick and it's good.
Corn's steady eating them meat sticks, boy.
Awkward.
Um,
What did he say? What did the Pope say? He's
He
talking
can-
about
He
chili.
can say it himself.
Do you like the way it tastes?
Yeah, that's the main reason I eat it.
He's stepping on it. Get off my headphones, Dick. I mean, oh crap.
boo, there's kids watching this.
I'm sorry.
Good gosh.
What do you think about it?
Well, we got a Patreon question here. And if you guys don't know about Patreon, there'll be a link in the description of this episode here where you can go and check it out if you want. It's essentially a private platform where we get to share behind the scenes content. I just saw you shared a bunch of stuff from the ROP course
I did, yeah.
behind the scenes
Yeah,
there.
we got some good.
So there's all kinds of stuff over there. We do Resurrected 3 Sundays a month over there and have a good time.
And
you
you,
want-
you might see Chili sniffing his rabbit on there one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, it's-
That's enough reason to sign up right
Yep.
there.
So every week we take a question from Patreon, and CB selects the questions. This is the question he got for us today, and I'll go ahead and read the end first. Sorry, Chili, if I didn't ask a direct and pointed question.
Wow. Do I have to answer the question? Because I'm not going to answer it if it wasn't direct and pointed.
Corn picked it, so I imagine he's got something on this.
All right, good.
Yeah.
You can answer this one.
So I'll read it.
You can answer this broad question.
Our boss/owner, I think, has extremely poor leadership skills. We watch him micromanage every person in his company. He trusts nobody, and he almost runs the business with fear. For example, he's constantly holding your job over your head over the slightest mistake, which can definitely be a positive to the right person with the right mindset, but mistakes happen, and not everybody responds to that type of leadership. He has driven out a lot of good talent because of how he talks to people. I understand being an industry professional and not needing recognition, but not everybody needs to be pushed like how he pushes us. Trying to communicate with him is extremely difficult because he has so much on his plate. We spend more time at work than we spend with our families. I don't think there is a solution to fixing him, but what ways can I go on a day-to-day to prevent burnout?
What?
Yeah, essentially what any advice is, what
Yeah.
can he do from day to day to prevent burnout? So, CB, do you have something on this, man?
Well, not particular, but I mean, to prevent burnout, I think you have to, in the question itself, it talked about how the owner was treating other people. So I think you got to realize, I think back to my past experience, just exactly what your place is there. Some owners of businesses will treat you like you're just an employee and you are replaceable. Well, guess what? You are. Like, and I'm not saying this person needs to realize that maybe you're not as important to the place that you think you are. We say things like, man, I'm here more than I am at home. And sometimes we use those, just as he says, the owner maybe not talking to somebody the correct way. We use those, hey, dude, I'm here more than I am home. Like, I need more. I should get more or stuff. It is your choice to work wherever you want to work. So if you don't like it, roll out somewhere else. But how to keep from burnout? Like where in that place can you grow other people around you? So where I was working at before, I sort of felt some of the same things. I wouldn't like talk to disrespectful or treat, but I was there a lot more than I was at home or with my friends. So there was other things I tried to do with the other guys. It sounds like to me like there's no friendship with the owner too. If somebody's going to come at me directly, I don't care if it's professional or not. And this has really backfired with me in the past. If they're going to come at me a certain way, they're going to talk to me a certain way unless they're my friend. I'll take a lot more razzing from like you guys, if you're upset or mad, than I will from somebody that's not respecting me at all on the street. Like, sounds like to me ain't nobody jumped in that dude's crap before. You know what I mean? If he's talking to the whole bassel of everybody like that,
Yeah.
what would be wrong with saying, hey, guys, you can do it separate or together? Man, you are talking to us like crap. Do you want us to work here or not? If he's got a lot of stuff on his plate, and I'm not saying get together and unionize and form a coup against your boss. I'm not saying that. If it's really bothering you enough to ask a question, address it. Address it. Don't be passive about it. Say, hey, dude, why do you think you got to talk to me like this? Because it ain't working at all. You talk to Jim Bob Bo Billy down the road just like that, and it affects my morale too. You know, I'm not here to hear that crap. You want me to work? Don't hold my job over my head. If I do something wrong, tell me. But you ain't going to talk to me like crap. Now, the dude might be like, I'll talk to you any way I want. So you got to be prepared to go whichever way direction you're going to go with that. I think you just have to decide to not, like he said, to keep from being burned out. You just have to decide, is that someplace you want to work, and deal with those things accordingly. Don't let them build up. There's a lot in that question. I feel like it's built up on I know who answered the question. He's a jam-up guy. I've met and talked to him once. He's a jam-up guy. Don't let that crap build up. Take care of it as it happens. At being an employee, me personally, I would want somebody to come to me when I mess something up and address it right then and not let it get built up at all.
Yeah.
You know, is it easier to hear, hey, dude, you messed up this one project, or is it easier to hear, hey, your job performance has sucked for 6 months and you've messed up all these other things, like what's going on? If you hear that you messed up the first one, you probably ain't going to mess up the other ones. And that's not to take any personal responsibility from the guy doing the job. That's just how I like to be addressed, is one thing at a time, you know. So I would address my boss right when it happened. And I learned that worked better for me, because if I go home and stew on it overnight, I come back in the morning and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
It ain't going to get no better.
Right.
Well, yeah, I think it's a relevant question for a lot of people, because a lot of people are probably experiencing a similar situation within the team that they work with on a day-to-day basis. And so I have worked for some really, really bad leaders in the past. I have also been a bad leader many, many times, and still screw up as the leader of our team now. So I've seen good leaders. I've worked for bad leaders. I think I've led well at times, and I have also done a terrible job at leading before. So, yeah, there's a lot to this question. You know, one thing, though, in the military that was different is when you were working for someone who was a bad leader, you had no choice to, like, just roll out like you're talking about. So you really had to figure out, how am I going to live with this for the next 4 years, essentially? See, I tried the thing that you're talking about one time. We were in I was in a platoon one time, and our platoon chief was just a lot like what this guy's talking about. Nasty. He putting everybody down in order to make himself look good. He loved to drop names because he thought if he could make other people look bad, it made him look good. He would fluff his own evals and in order to get advanced in rank and stuff. He micromanaged everyone, and bless this feller's heart, man. I mean, he was just a broken human, right? But I had to work for this guy for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. And, you know, we would try to kind of talk to him. You know, the guys that, first of all, we would use the chain of command. So if I was a squad leader, I'm not going to go directly to that guy, that chief, and, you know, bring my complaints to him. I'm going to bring my complaints to my LPO. And then my LPO would go up and try to talk to this chief about changing, you know, the way he leads and how his actions are really bringing morale down within the team and affecting people's ability to do their job. But he would never respond to it. So I made the mistake one day. We had the Commodore, which is the big boss of all the SEAL teams on the East Coast. The Commodore said, I'm coming around to y'all's team, and I just want to sit down and talk to y'all. And I want this is an open door conversation. If y'all have any issues, literally from the newest guy to the oldest guy, if you guys are having issues, you just bring it up to me, and we're gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna try to help you guys change things, right? So we knew the Commodore was coming, and I talked to all my guys about what had been going on, and they said, yeah, you should talk to him about this chief, right? You should talk to him. You should bring it up. Another thing about this guy, this chief, he was really physically unfit too to do the job. That drove us crazy, right? Because that's a big part of doing that job, is being physically fit. And so the Commodore came in, and he got done with his little spiel, and then I raised my hand and basically was like, what do we do about this guy that you guys have put in this position to lead? And he's not physically able. He's just a nasty person, right? We can't. What do you want us to do about this? And I asked that question, and the Commodore just kind of blew it off. And then we left that meeting, and son, they dropped the hammer on me for asking that question. They made me go down to the PX and buy a uniform that SEALs didn't even wear. It was called Peanut Butters. It was a brown collared shirt and black pants. SEALs didn't even wear it. It was like for the admin people. They made me go buy that uniform and wear that freaking uniform for like a month. Every single day I had to wear these peanut butters. So as you're seeing, I mean, they just brought the hammer down on me, dude, for asking or like bringing up this problem of leadership. So that doesn't always pan out for you when you bring that up. But luckily, in the civilian world, if it don't pan out for you and that boss says, screw you, you're going to wear your peanut butters now for the next month here at work. You thought it was, well, then you can just say, well, I'll catch you on a flip-flop, buddy. Yeah. I'm going to go find me another job somewhere.
Yeah.
We didn't have that option. So what I ended up doing is making a decision to come into work, and I decided that I was just going to keep my mouth shut, and I was going to do the job that I had been tasked to do to the best of my ability. And I wasn't going to talk to anybody unless they talked to me. And that's how I got through it. Now, again, that was just a 3 or 4 year stint. That's not a career job. But like I said, that's what I did. I said, you know what? I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to do my job, and I'm not going to talk to anybody unless they come and approach me.
Do you think you could do the best possible job that you could do doing that?
That's what I mean by that. I mean, the best that I could do my job within that environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was a decision I made, and it definitely it improved my experience in my life within that scenario.
Right.
Of just because I just refused to be a part in any of the drama, or I just chose my words carefully, chose who I talked to and what I said, made sure I was, careful about that, and made sure that if I was going to have conversations with people, it was to pertain to a task or a job that needed to be done and pertain to our work, and that was it. And I wasn't going to let them into my personal life, and I wasn't going to ask them about their personal life. And it's a shame it had to be that way, because it would have been a lot better if we could have all just got along, and we could have all been buddies and supported each other, and we would have been a lot more effective. But it just wasn't gonna happen, man. And so, the dude you're working for, he's the owner, man.
Yeah.
And it was the same way in the Navy. Our chief was our chief, and you got options, man. I didn't have any options, so the only thing I knew to do was to shut my mouth, put my head down, and do my job day by day. So that's what I did. It's probably not the answer that you wanted, but sometimes there ain't no freaking tricks, man.
Yeah.
Be honest with you. Blake, what about you, Bubba?
Well, I guess I would ask the question, like, why are you there? Because you can put up with a lot of stuff if you have, like, a reason to be there. Like, if it's maybe fulfilling to you, or if you're just there to earn a paycheck. Like, if I'm somewhere just to earn a paycheck, I can't put up with a lot, because you got to have money, but I can go make money somewhere else. And I worked at a job for probably about 5 years, and I wasn't dealing with that, but, just other crap that you deal with when you work for bigger corporate companies and things. And there was a lot of good things about it, but a lot of things that were aggravating too. And so I just chose to find something. I remember starting like a Bible study with the people there at my job, and a lot of people actually came, and so that gave me meaning and purpose to be there. And then I was able to deal with the things that I didn't like, because I thought, well, I get to be around these people and I get to impact them. So I would say try to find some sort of fulfillment in the job you're doing, whatever it is that that fulfills you. Or if there's nothing there and you can't create something, then just go on. I think, in my opinion, if you have a job that you have to prevent burnout from, that you have to have a break from, then you're doing the wrong thing. You need to find something that you don't have to get that from constantly, a break from constantly.
I think another thing that'll help too is also let's just all recognize how hard it is to be a leader of a company.
Yeah.
Like, it's freaking hard to do that and to do it right. And ain't nobody out there that's going to do it right all the time, because there's so many pieces to that, man. And maybe if you it's hard to keep. It's also but the hard part of that, it's hard to keep that in mind unless you've been there. Because I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking how much better you could do than he's doing. And maybe you could do better. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you, man, it's hard.
Well, you could do better at the things you don't like.
Right.
But then someone else is going to be mad at you because you're not doing something that they like it done some certain way or treated some way.
That's what I was going to say about this question is the times I have ran into trouble with bosses is I'm doing my job to the best of my ability, especially I've had a couple micromanagers before, and they want it done a certain way. And I think the way I'm doing it is just fine, and I'm being stubborn and won't do it the way they want me to do it because I think it's dumb. It's a waste of my time. Why are you asking me to do it this way? I'm doing it this way, and it's getting done. Like, leave me alone. And in my experience, it's like what y'all are saying. If you choose to work somewhere for whatever your reasons are, you got to do it the way the narcissistic a-hole wants it done. And a lot of times if you'll just do that and quit being pissed off about, well, he's making me do it this way and he's nitpicking this and why do I have to do this extra step and this thing that they're making me do is just a huge waste of time. Well, just if it's your boss and they're asking you to do it, just do it anyway. And then a lot of times that friction will go away in my experience. You're still going to get pissed off that they're making you do dumb stuff, but they'll quit being mad at you if you quit resisting. Does that make sense? And I think that goes back to what you're saying, Boo. Like, I think when I get into a job that I start looking for ways. Anytime I've gotten into a job, I immediately start looking at, I could do this better. And I start scrutinizing things and thinking, well, that's not very efficient. Well, this doesn't make very much sense. And it's like, well, no, you're entering a company, so you're going to do what the company does. Even if it doesn't make any sense to you, it doesn't matter. Like, you are an employee. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it made total sense in context of the job I did in the military, for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's dumb.
And that's what I meant by putting my head down and doing the job and not complaining or not talking about, like, just doing the job. Like, even if it sucked and it was stupid, I just did it.
There is something to be proud of in that. And our culture is very, you don't get to be proud of following rules or working for other people. The only thing you get to be proud of is being an entrepreneur and quitting the job you hate and starting a new company. Well, not everybody is going to start a new company or become an influencer or whatever. And there is something that people should be proud of about working for somebody, putting their pride aside, and doing whatever is asked of them without getting pissed about it or like it's a good thing. And I don't know anybody who's ever had a job who has never felt frustrated with their job. I'm not saying the guy on Patreon, he probably has an extreme, it sounds like what he's dealing with is an extreme situation. But I've hired 3 young people in the last 3 years. And they don't want to work underneath someone. They want to have all their own ideas. They want to have all the ways they do it. They want to be in control. And it just doesn't work that way when you work for someone. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I think maybe not, again, maybe not in this guy's specific situation, but another thing to think about is really, in all reality, somebody who's in a leadership position is, in a lot of ways, only going to be as good as the people that he has to work with, right? As the people within his team. And we've seen it many, many times on the training missions that we run, where you might have somebody in the team on a ROP course or at a proving grounds or on a basic course. You might have somebody there who does have a lot of really good leadership qualities and experience, but the majority of the rest of his team just really don't want to put in the work, and they just suck. And then obviously that freaking jacks him up, you know? It's like no matter how good the person that's put in a position of leadership is, if he doesn't have quality people to work with and to back him up and to do the job that needs to be done, well, he's going to fail and the entire team is going to fail. So it's never a bad idea also for you guys as teammates working for this owner. It's never a bad idea for you guys to also rally up and have a conversation about yourselves. Just saying. I mean, an unbiased, like Chili says, ruthless conversation about how are we doing to support this mission.
Well, nobody can self-evaluate. That's so rare. It's
Yeah.
such a rare trait, man. Nobody's self-aware. Nobody pays attention to how they really are doing or performing, or will be honest about what they lack in.
Like, am I really doing as good as I think I'm doing? Like, let's really be objective about that.
So few people ask it, and then even fewer people will answer honestly, because you can make it whatever you want in your own head. But that's a good idea.
It is. It's a great idea. Because I guarantee you, if you guys as a team sit down and you guys have a conversation about how each of you are doing to support the team, there are going to be a lot of changes that you guys could probably make to empower this person who's in the leadership position within the team. And the thing is also, you guys might have to make the changes that you identify need to be made, and it may require extra work from each of you in order to empower this person. And you might have to do that in a selfless way. In other words, you might have to make changes not because that leader deserves your support, because he hadn't been treating you good, right? Not because he deserves it, but you're gonna choose to do things differently in order to support him better for the sake of the team. And then I believe 9 times out of 10, when that leader sees you and his team making those changes and supporting him in this whole new way, giving your whatever that maximum effort looks like, it's probably going to impact him or her, and also they're going to want to make changes for themselves. Not obviously not in every scenario, but in a lot of scenarios, if that person really cares, they're going to want to jump on that train and head in that direction with you, right? So then it becomes a reciprocal. Something to think about. Like Chili said, hard to do, to have that really ruthlessly honest conversation with yourself and with each other. You know what I mean? So good question. Thank you for that, Patreon. I hope some of that helps. Last thing I got today is you guys got some mail? What y'all get in the mail?
Man, we all got mail.
Yeah, what'd you get?
What'd you get, Corn?
Cornbread got something here.
This come from Thomas Brannon.
Mm-hmm.
He was on ROP team 7. 7.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Happy trees.
Now that's legit. Open that up, Corn.
Well, Thomas, a.k.a. Tom, he has an afro just like Bob Ross.
Dang.
Dude, that's legit right there.
That's a nice
son.
shirt.
Appreciate that, Tom. Appreciate it.
What'd you get, Chill?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a great shirt.
Look at that.
That shirt reminds me of something we used to get at Old Navy.
Thank you, Tom.
I like it.
Me and Tom, we're pretty tight now. Me and Tom are tight. In that ROP course,
Like
Yeah.
you and that rabbit are tight.
no, me and Tom are tight. We like oatmeal cream pies, so that's what that's about.
It's awesome.
What Tom sent me? What kind of shirt did I get here?
I like the way Tom thinks.
What is it, Boo?
Oh, that's a Marine Corps shirt.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool looking shirt.
It is.
H-46.
You like the Marines, babe?
Yeah, the Marines are a very special, probably the most special branch of our U.S. military, man. They have so much heritage, and they're not willing to compromise on their values and their heritage, and they work freaking hard. They carry the weight of combat in most conflicts that we've had here in this country.
Remember when Tom
So-
fired off that cadence?
Yeah, Tom. Well, I think Tom was a helo pilot, and he flew these CH-46s. It's a pretty cool aircraft, other than the fact that every one of them leak massive amounts of hydraulic fluid and look and sound like they're about to crash at any moment.
Tom also sent me this book.
That's a good book.
It is a good book.
I have
ain't
that
it?
book, yeah. What do we have here? I got something here from Jason.
Hopefully it's Mucinex.
What do I got from Jason? Jason sent me $20.
There you go.
What? Does it say anything?
Well, you asked for money, Bubba. Don't act surprised. That's ridiculous, man. You asked for money and they sent.
Because you asked.
Yeah,
Love you, brothers.
told you.
Well, let me tell you what, Jason. Don't disgrace me by sending me a measly $20. What am I going to do with this? This won't even buy me a biscuit down at the daggone. That won't even buy me a dang biscuit, man.
Did you forget where you bought your biscuits just now?
Good night.
Don't disgrace me by sending me $20.
I'll take it.
I told y'all send me $1,000 or more. Don't waste your time sending me anything unless it's $1,000 or more. Okay? It's just slap disrespectful.
Wow.
Getting disrespected on this podcast every time I come on here. I come on here and talk to y'all and put on this show for y'all every week. Sick. I'm here sick as a dang dog. I'm here. And you're going to disrespect me? Every week y'all disrespect me.
Look, do you not have two there?
Making 99-cent donations on the dang thing. We ain't a dang non-profit, man. We don't care about 99 cents.
That's non-profit money.
Give us a darn 1,000 or more.
Come on. 5031CQ.
Go give your 85 cents
Crap,
to some
man.
non-profit.
Yeah. Give your 85 cents to a non-profit, man.
Golly.
The March of Dimes.
We know a guy that owns one.
Non-profits are the fakest things on earth.
What about jump rope for life?
What a tax scam.
What?
Jump rope for life?
I ain't never heard of that.
Stinking non-profit. That's almost as bad as the Amish. Non-profit's almost as bad as the freaking Amish. I can't stand the Amish. That's another thing I'm going to do. When y'all elect me as president, we banning these Amishes. We are going into Amish country. We're burning every one of their wagons.
And then we're going to cane.
We're caning them. Every one of them's got
And we're going to break their horses' kneecaps.
yeah. Every one of them's got stacks of cash everywhere because none of them pay no tax or nothing. They've got this scam. Y'all think, look, all the Amish is a tax scam. Y'all think that's legit? These stinking Amish, man, they're just putting that on in the public eye so that they don't have to pay no tax. And they go in their house at night. Them son of a guns got iPads, computers, they got phones, they got power ran underground. They've got all that crap. It's Amish, man, they're
We're going to go into their communities. We're going to light their wagons on fire. We're going to cane the men, women, and children. They're going to break the horses' kneecaps. That's what we're
dang
going to
right
do.
we are.
Everyone on here is saying that you sound like RFK ever since you started running for president.
I think he sounds like Hitler talking about having to cane all these
Who's
people.
Who's RFK?
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Who is that?
You've talked about him.
Is that the guy that's running for president?
Yeah, he's running as an independent
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
president, and he's in the Kennedy family, and he's
I like that guy.
Chili.
I like
how
that
he
guy.
talks.
He likes animals, so I like him.
What, I can't do an impersonation?
Does he like white rabbits?
Oh yeah,
Does he sniff white rabbits?
Freaking RFK
Or blow
like,
on them?
RFK likes falcons. It's a threat to my rabbits.
If y'all aren't on Patreon, you better get on there because I'm going to post this video soon of Chili with the rabbit, and he's going to delete it fast.
Y'all just mad
I'm
I
just saying.
impersonated RFK so good.
Blake, you got super chats?
Oh yeah.
All right, I got to pee again, but you can go ahead.
My gosh.
I got to stay hydrated, man. I'm hitting this Mucinex hard, son.
Well, we've got
Robert E. Lee.
Evan Webb coming in at 99 cents.
Thank you, Evan.
You take the mantle on this.
Matthew Ballman, $1.99. Hey, Chad.
I'll tell Chad you said, hey, Matthew, thank you. Thank you, Bubba.
No, you are Chad right now.
Oh, okay.
Go sit in his chair.
The neo-Amish dude, he said, give $5. He said, don't hate the player, hate the game.
There you go. Get with it, Neo.
Red Lightning, 99 cents.
Thank you, Red.
Barry Tavis, 99
Oh,
cents.
Tavis.
Thanks, Tavis.
Thank you, Barry.
Oops. $10. Chad, as a Navy SEAL, can you share an experience where you felt completely out of your depth, and how did you navigate through that situation to grow as a person?
Yeah, every time they put me in the water, I felt like I was completely out of my element. How did I navigate it? I just got my freaking butt in the water and just went at it as hard as I possibly could, and I happened to survive. I told you, man. Y'all make all this crap so complex about how do you get through this and that when you're faced with something that you can't daggone don't think you can do. Y'all try to make this, we have all these conversations. Look, just make a decision to go and just do it. All right? That's all it is, man. Good night.
While you was gone, Matthew said, hey.
I don't give a crap.
Well, I told him I'd tell you.
Davey G said, give $9.99. He said, who y'all happy Wednesday fam? Proverbs 3:5-7, all day, day. Love y'all.
We love you too, buddy.
Garrick 11 coming at $99.99.
Good night. Thank you, Garrick. Thank you for not disrespecting me.
Thank you for the entertainment. Love the ROP clips on Patreon. Go sign up. Can't wait to train with all of you one day. You're my favorite people. I love you all. Blake, as the president of 3 of 7, go and pick up the Land Cruiser that belongs to the company. Nuff said.
There you go.
Oh, by the way, Garrick, we haven't really announced it yet, but there's, Lord willing, there's going to be an advanced ROP course we're going to roll out in 2025. It's tentatively March, right, Chili? Tentatively March.
Yes.
And we're building that out. So, Garrick, you'd be a prime candidate for that.
Oh, yeah.
Evan Webb, $4.99. It's great to get to know everyone until you realize you would rather not know some.
Yeah.
That's right.
There you go.
Brian
What I've been trying to
Gaines.
tell y'all.
Brian Gaines, $100.
Whoa.
Night.
Brian. Shouldn't have.
Garth Brooks.
Appreciate you guys.
Oh, stop.
Bad
That's
bomb.
big right there, son.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
bro.
Thank you, Brian.
Red Lightning, $49.99. $49.99.
That's pretty good, Red Lightning, but you could have did 100.
You know who that is.
China's army is the cartel here
He's getting it.
from our open borders, moving fentanyl to the U.S. Everybody needs to listen to Sheriff Mark Lamb on the Sean Ryan Show.
Yeah, I
Sheriff-
like Sheriff
Sheriff
Mark
Mark
Lamb. He's
Lamb?
running for Congress. He's going to change the world.
Thank you, Red Lightning. Jill Crumpton, $4.99. Chad, what is the update on the blood clot in your leg? Praying for you.
Thank you, Jill. Oh, it's getting better. It's still hanging in there, but hey, it ain't got me down yet. I'm still rolling, Jill. Thank you for your prayers.
Deplorable Lawn Guy 92, $4.99. If you're still surprised you haven't been paying attention, God bless and thank you for speaking truth. Like the song says, country boy can survive.
Yes, sir. Deplorable lawn man. By the way, I had a grass cutting business in up in Virginia. Did y'all know about that?
Yeah,
Y'all know I cut grass
I remember you
for a
telling me
while.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I cannot tell you how
Tried
many.
it lawn care.
I can't tell you how many people I have had because I think the business thing is you can still find it somewhere. I can't tell you how many people been hitting me up this summer asking for landscaping and lawn care. Yeah, I told y'all it's easy to make money. Y'all fools living out there, living poor all your dang life. Tell them Cooney knows.
Oh, yeah. Cooney can get all kinds of grass cutting.
I've been telling y'all, man. Look,
right.
If you need to make some side money, sell chickens or cut grass.
Yep.
The one or the other. I mean, that's your side gig.
Well, Buck was telling me that Cooney can get lots of jobs, but Buck said he's the only one that can get them done.
That's right. Yeah.
Muscled Up Runner Greer, $4.99. Cornbread, Secretary of Transportation.
There you go. I'll make sure you get where you're going, boy. Thank you, Steve.
Kelby, Boss Hoss, $9.99. Today is my daughter's 16th birthday. I thought it'd be a cool surprise if she got a birthday shout out on the podcast from Chad and the crew at 3 of 7. Her name is Ella.
Can we sing to her?
Hold on. How old is Ella?
16.
16.
Can we please sing to her? Get your guitar, babe. Get your guitar. Her name's Ella.
This is about to be big.
What are we singing?
Happy birthday.
We can't pick a better song than that to sing
I
to
wouldn't
Ella
sing
for
that.
her birthday.
I wouldn't sing that.
Sing it.
It's your birthday.
Hear that lonesome whippoorwill.
That has nothing to do with Ella's birthday.
It sounds too
Jeez,
blue
Lord.
to fly. The midnight train
Happy birthday,
is
Ella. We're
whining
sorry.
low. Ella's so lonesome she could cry.
Happy birthday.
That's
Ella.
to prepare you for adult life, Ella.
All right.
That right there.
Happy birthday, Ella.
Happy birthday. Good on you for making it to 16.
Hopefully she's not lonesome.
Boy, did you hear him whine in that song?
Lonesome.
That's a lick right there, boy.
Chad Bennett, $5. Listening from Mackinac Island, Michigan. Keep up the good work.
Hey.
Thank you, Chad.
Milkman, $49.99.
Wow.
We got a milkman and a mailman.
Make sure to drink your milk. Mix some hoist with it.
Oh, yum.
We drink milk. We'll get that raw milk.
Put
Milk.
cornbread in your milk.
Milk.
Chad's so sick he can't even finish the word milk.
You can't say the K.
We drink that milk.
Kendall Stanley, $19.99.
Oh,
Thanks
yeah.
to all of you and ROP Team 8 for everything this weekend. Love you guys.
Thank you, Kendall.
Thank you, Kendall.
KP1, $15. Chad and Brooke, yogurt ×2 a day. Raw cabbage, broccoli. Gut must be fixed, not the nose. The nose is the side effects. Clean your gut, you idiot.
There you go.
Dang.
Well,
It does not say you idiot. And Biscuit, when he eats broccoli, he gets tore
I
up.
thought you were
I
taking
drink kombucha every day.
supplements, man, to heal yourself, and now you're getting sick.
Yeah,
Look what that
I
went
have
cost
been
you.
taking that garlic, boy.
Yeah, look what that cost you.
Marty Bingham, $4.99. Do you know how hard it is to assemble a panel with expertise in endurance and turkey fatalities? It was pretty hard.
Yeah, true. Thank you, Marty.
Leave it at that. Enough said on that.
B. Jung, $1.99. Spend them wisely.
Be young.
Yeah.
He just popped up out the ground, didn't he?
That's what I was thinking too.
He just got
That's
grown
one of them
up.
Chinaman seedlings right there, son.
There's 2.5 acres free. Why?
Smells like a sack of sulfur.
Marty Bingham, $19.99. They said if I lay it to my hide between now and the ROP course, I will have more endurance than the law allows, and my turkey count will go from 423 to the mid-500s, and I won't have to eat turtles unless I want to.
That was nice.
Oh, there you go.
Keep it up, Marty. You keep it up, buddy.
Marty Bingham, $9.99. I ordered me some of that Endura-Formance on the advice of a panel of experts.
There you
I
go.
don't know what that is.
Ultraformance.
I
He's
don't
talking
know
about
what
ultraformance.
that is.
Eric Dermanalian, $20. Shout out, O Andres. He was the exact same when I met him.
Yep.
Steady and solid. Will listen later. Much love.
There you go.
That's him.
Mark Stoddard, $9.99. Finally out of jail from all that bear advice you have me. God bless you all. Why are you bringing all your stuff with you if you're going to the bathroom?
I just have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, right. You're leaving. Bull crap.
Biscuit, you do whatever you want. You're so beautiful. You can do whatever you want.
Thank you, Mark.
Little Virgil, $4.99. Hey, he's got this fat, like, pear-looking thing laying on the ground with a headband. Said,
I
how's
knew
it
he
going?
was going to say that today. I knew it.
Did you?
I knew it.
On an LV.
Fat pear.
Kendall Stanley, $9.99. Oops, I did it again. Sneaky snakes.
Oh, there you go.
Boy, they had Brittany hour hard,
They
son.
did, didn't they?
Clayton Lindsay, $4.99. Have you ever had to sit in the woods and listen to a man poo?
Yeah.
Yeah, many times.
Clayton, that slowed you, son.
Hey, old James was playing them tunes, wasn't he, son?
Chad said, you got to get that out.
he was playing that butthole flute.
Don't laugh at that.
Benjamin Ashcraft, $10.
Whoa, dude.
I'm a trucker. I drive through Kentucky and Virginia through the mountains every week and look forward to listening to the podcast Wednesday nights. Thank y'all for helping me stay rolling.
Hey, man, thanks for tuning in and doing that tough job, man. That ain't no joke, being out there on the road.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you, Benjamin. Now, what's
Dangerous
wrong
job.
with you?
SSR 1911, $1.99.
Thank you, feller.
You got something to say
Muscled
about
Up
that?
Runner Greer, $4.99. Muscled Up Secretary of Fitness Greer.
There you go. That's serious, Steve.
Chili Jr., $1.99. If you win, can you make it legal for me to vote?
You
Neo
tell me
Amish
about
dude, $5. Chili with his rabbit needs to be a limited time wallet design. 10 out of 10 would buy another one.
Look, we done talked about them Amish, feller. We done
had
talked about that.
He's
Matthew
Neo Amish.
Ballman come in at $3.99 super chats.
There you go.
Well,
Thank you, Matthew.
that ticks me off.
What else you got?
We had
Blake?
Oops at $5. Calm down, Chad. Chat GPT generated that question for me. Good night.
There you go.
Wow.
Army vet Trump girl, $5. Love you, brother. Sorry isn't more, but I'm on a fixed VA disability.
Well, that's all right. I appreciate
Sounds
you
like a
tuning
comic
in.
book name. Army
Garrett.
Vet Trump girl.
Garrick, $19.99. Send me the invitation for the advanced drop. I'll be there. It'll be a good test for my 309-mile race in April.
Oof. Yeah. It sure will, Garrick.
Clayton
Roger that.
Lindsay, $4.99. Y'all remember what happens when you step on a grape?
Oh, God.
Clayton, I'm sick of seeing you complain about your darn mashed up toe, man. Don't nobody care.
Chad don't know about that. That was, remember the joke they was telling?
Yeah, he don't know about the grape, man.
Don't nobody care about your toe, Clayton. I told you that was normal for your toe to do stuff like that when you walk that far, man.
Boy, Clayton, he let off some good jokes on that.
Yeah, he was a funny guy. Mm-hmm. Jelly Bean Dad, $49.99.
He has some good
Truth
stand-ups.
hurts. Love it.
Truth hurts. Roger that.
Jelly
Good.
bean, Dad.
Good stand-up.
Thank you.
Justin Milford, $10.
I remember
man.
him.
Congratulations, Andreas. Way to lead, brother. Loved y'all. Can't wait to see y'all soon. And that's the final one.
All right,
Thank you,
10
Tim,
man
man.
rounding us out.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show today. And Lord willing, we'll see you next week. Enough said.